Good morning, everyone. This is the Finance Pastor coming to you live from Orlando, Florida. And the stock market has been in a topsy turvy for over the last few months. Many people expecting that the tariffs were going to change and have a positive effect in the beginning have gotten a rude awakening, especially with the ups and downs and the wealth that has been eliminated from the United States have been very significant. These trade wars are going to continue and expect many topsy turvies, ups and downs over the next few months until this corrects itself. The United States has to play the long term game with China, with many of the other countries if we want to win. President Trump has taken full command of this economy. And if you voted for him, you got to roll with the punches. And if you don't like, you're already expecting this to keep falling. So where do you fall in the spectrum? I'm going to roll with the brother. I know that this is a big ship that you're trying to turn around. And everything that's happening right now is like a shock into the financial heart system of the United States. So we are seeing this tug, big old boat being turned around into the right direction. Are there going to be some tough turns? Yes. But in order to make an omelet, you're going to have to crack a few eggs. And that's what's happening in the economy. We are cracking a few eggs. Now, there's certain things that the Federal Reserve has in its power to help the American people. But Chairman Powell has yet to lower interest rates. That is the biggest cog for many of the other administrations previous. The one of the biggest kickstarters for the administration for President Obama, even for President Bush, was lower interest rates, close to near 2%, 1%, 4%. That kickstarts the economy. Until we see something like that in the United States, we're going to see a lot of headwinds, especially with China and many other countries playing the long game against the United States. China, for a long time, has been playing the patient game. Understanding that our leaders get elected every 4 years, they play the patient person's game. See, the United States has been taken advantage for long, far too long. And now we are seeing that we are going to be respected again in the economic world. And also, we are seeing that many countries are standing up against China and what they're doing. See, China is not an aggressive country like with military and stuff like that, but they play chess. They play the long game. They play more of generational games. So with other countries, and they're in it for the long haul. That's why China has a long history of surviving. That's why their empire has traces of over 500, 600, 700 years. And that's what we are seeing right now. China's playing the long game. And we needed someone in the United States that was willing to stand up, a businessman, someone who has fought against some of the most corrupt people. And that's why we have President Trump. And I'm believing he is going to do what he said he was going to do. And he has promised to the American people. Now, if you're here and you're listening and you're watching, well, and you're scared about your portfolio, well, you should have a little trepidation, especially if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared about having insurance, just like you would have life insurance, just like you would have home insurance, just like you would have car insurance, you should have insurance on your portfolio by learning how to trade options, whether you're using put options or if you're just doing covered calls, whatever it is, there's a way where you need to learn how to maximize the financial resources at your disposal in order to protect your portfolio. I will never buy a house, even if I bought it free and clear. I will always have insurance on it just in case. Many of you, your biggest savings, your hardest money that you have is in your case, and many of you have lost half of it in the last 3 or 4 months. And it is a fact that this is going to continue for the next few months. If you're in it for the long haul, you need to stay the course. That's what I tell people. If you have another 5 years, then yeah, you can have it. But if you're looking to retire next year, you're gonna have to wait. It is a very impossibility with all the losses that has happened in the stock market over the last few weeks and even in the last 3 months to really just recoup it overnight. This is gonna take some time. So if you're in it for the long term, I think you'll be fine. If you're an investor, this is like Christmas shopping right now. Warren Buffett is sitting on the sideline with over $350 billion. He's ready to buy. I will be looking for institutional buying over the next 5 to 6 months. If you're seeing where we're seeing bottoms, where stocks keep bouncing off, you're going to be seeing that that's where a lot of institutional buyers are right now. So I want to share my screen with you guys, and let's take a look at a few stocks and let's see what the market is doing thus far. It is 9:25 Eastern Standard Time. So I am going to share my screen. See what we're going to look at first. Look at the S&P, the E-minis. I'm going to share my screen. So right now, the futures are up 55 points. This is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. So right now, we're up 54 points. So you can expect that the stock market is going to kind of retrace and kind of try to get back what it lost yesterday. And it's going to be a lot for it to push up. But if it just goes up a little bit, this big leg down, we're seeing more moves from futures. Just this move down, I mean, it's serious. This is a serious move right here. So we're looking at where this futures is kind of following this trend line right here. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, same pattern that we having right here is basically we're up over 200 points. So expect a lot of the tech stocks that got beat up yesterday, especially like companies like Apple. I would be looking at Apple. They were just downgraded, and that's not a good thing for a company like Apple. We downgraded to I think it was 140 if I'm not mistaken. But Apple right here is, I'm looking for Apple if it does come down. I drew this here actually. I drew this here the other day. But 140 would be the line. If it hits that 140 line, I would be a buyer in Apple. I am actually bearish on Apple right now. Apple really hasn't, they're running off the coattails of Steve Jobs, even though he's been passed for over like 10, 12 years. They're really not reinventing anything. I feel like we're going back to too many products, not really focusing on the core stuff. And we're not really leading right here. So Apple, I love Apple. I'm a Mac head. I've been a Mac head for over 15 years. But Apple is one of those stocks that I believe it could still drop. It'll probably bounce off today. Probably anything the market is looking for a lift, no matter what. Apple. Let's look at some other stocks. Nvidia. Again, these lines I drew, it is just, I'm not saying that I'm the authority, but Nvidia is a stock that I would consider as a buy right now. Even if it goes down again, even if it goes down to the $90 range, I am a buyer on Nvidia. You have to look at Nvidia and say to yourself, what is this stock going to be worth in 3 to 4 years? And if you're saying to yourself, this stock could be worth $500, then think of it as a glorified savings account. You could take $100, 2 or 3, every paycheck, put it away. And let's say in a year, you have, let's say 20 shares of NVIDIA, $20,000, that is, or whatever it is, or $2,000. You can see that stock in a couple of years, that 2,000 that you put, it be $6,000. It's like a glorified savings account. It's really a way how to build equity in a house without having this big stash of cash. You can do this by giving up coffee, by giving up a lot of eating out. You'd be surprised. You could buy 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 shares a month just by giving up a lot of those type of things. So Nvidia is one of those stocks that I am very bullish on. Nvidia has one of the best problems, and is they have so much orders that they can't keep them filled. That's a wonderful problem to have. What a wonderful problem to have. And we're looking for ways where we could capitalize. The market should be opening up, and I think, yep, it is opening up. We've seen let's look at the S&P 500. Let's go look at those indices. 9:30 on the dot. Let's go S&P 500 up 55 points thus far. Kind of a retracement, just like everyone expected. That's nothing. This is not nothing that wasn't not expected. This is SPX. Let's see what else. I expect a lot of these stocks to build off in the beginning. A lot of buying power just from orders that came in from the night before. Let's see what else. Bitcoin, 89,000, still off its lows, off its highs. Let's look at Palantir. Palantir, I'm bullish on Palantir. I am very bullish on Palantir. Believing this stock is going to be this is one of those that I believe with their military contract that they're going to be receiving, they're going to get a big boost in the economy, and the stock has also been beat up a little bit. This is companies I'll be looking at. Royal Caribbean, another one that I like. It has been beaten up. It has been off its highs, and I think this stock will go back up to that $240 range, 250. This is a stock that, again, if you're looking to make 5 to 20% in a year, this would be a stock. I mean, this is very possible. So you don't have to stick to making 1 or 2% in a year. You look at a stock like this that you're buying at a discount, $194. Let's just make clear math here. And let's say if it goes up to 250, you've already made 25% on your ROI. I mean, that's the way you start to invest. That's where you have the long term. You don't try to just buy. I don't like buying stock to sell it. Like, there's certain swing trading patterns I do like, but I don't like to be day trading stock to make $2 or $3. You make more money by just leaving it in there. This is one of those stocks. Royal Caribbean, I like. Target has been beaten up. I like this stock long term. This is a leadership problem. This stock has a leadership problem. And I'm seeing that this stock here, until it changes its ways, it won't do much. Jets. This is an ETF for the travel industry. This is one that if you're looking to not rock the boat, if you're looking to maybe, hey, I got a couple of dollars, I want to take max risk, $1, $2, or $3, this is a stock for you. This stock will go to $20, maybe 20, 21, $22 in about 3 to 4, 5, 6 months. This is the way this stock works. Anyone who trades jets knows that. Q's again gotten beat up yesterday, up a little bit today. I like the Q's long term, just not today. Netflix, all right, you crossed the $1,000 mark. I love Netflix. I believe this is a $1,200 stock. I've been saying this for several months. Netflix is going to be a leader. Hear me out. Netflix is going to be a leader in broadcasting networks with a lot of the legacy broadcasting networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, really being disingenuous to its customer base. And the lying, the constant lying, people are going to be looking for other legacy programs to watch. I would look at Netflix to really take a big chunk of that space with a lot of the sports venues. Netflix, Apple, again, we saw how they were downgraded. NASDAQ up 200 points, kind of trying to build what it lost yesterday. Dow Jones up 400 points. It is kind of trying to get back half of what it lost yesterday. So we're pretty close there. Now, will this continue? That's yet to be seen in the stock market. We're seeing that, let me stop sharing. We're seeing that a lot of these moves that are happening in the stock market, it could be anyway. We could bump up right now, and then the orders that had a lot of buy orders last night are getting filled right now. I just want to see where the sell orders are. That's kind of the biggest thing. If we hit a range where the stock market hits a lot of demand, there's too much supply and not enough demand, you're going to start seeing the stock just drop another leg. I expect to see that. I expect to see that to drop another leg, but that's what the stock market does. You have to roll with the punches. As an investor, if you are afraid of what's going on in the stock market, investing is not for you. This is what you have as headwinds as an investor. That's why learn how to trade with insurance. Learn how to trade with protective stock option puts. That's a way where you can mitigate a lot of the losses that you have been having. Is the stock market going to continue to drop? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But what I do know that just in case, if it does drop, and I believe it will, you should have insurance on your portfolio. Now, I also believe that there's some prudence in maybe putting your money in the sidelines. If you don't feel like you want to make the decision of like, hey, I don't want to keep losing, you could put your money in the sidelines. And as you see the market finds a bottom, you can re-enter the stock market again. So there's not a right or wrong. It's just whatever's right for you as an investor and as a keeper of your financial fortress. It is up to you to decide how you invest your monies. And I'm looking forward to what the rest of the week has in the stock market to offer. It's going to be offering a lot of topsy-turvy moves, but I am prepared as an investor. I believe in that the Trump administration is doing the best that it can, and I believe that they are working overtime to really put the American people first. But in order to put the American people first, you have to stand up to the people that are destroying the American people. And it is the manufacturing companies of other countries who use the United States as their piggy bank. And we have to say is no more. You have to understand, China needs the United States. The United States doesn't need China. See, there's a problem when you have a communist country like China. China needs to feed its billions of people. China needs to find a way. That's why they try to find farms. That's why they try to buy all that. They have a serious problem. The United States is a free capital country where by the sweat of your brow, you eat bread. By the hustle of your work, you can make a living. If you're an entrepreneur in the United States, you can go out and start a business. See, you can't do that in China. And that's where the United States is really a key industry player here. Now, we have many other countries that are in line with the United States, many other countries that we can get labor from as long as it's reciprocal tariff or zero tariff. I think that's where the United States benefits because American companies, American business owners really can't sell a lot of their products overseas because of the VAT tax, because of all these taxes and tariffs they impose on our companies. So what we're trying to do and what President Trump is trying to do is level the playing field. And if you are understanding what he's doing, you have to be patient and don't listen to all the noise. Everyone that wants President Trump to fail is loving this, or they're loving it because that's what they think. They see what right now, but they don't have a long-term vision. And I believe God's hand is on President Trump, and I pray blessings over him, his family, over his administration. Why? Because we want to see them prosper. We want them to be used by God. And also, the American people want to prosper as a whole, regardless of how you feel. Feelings sometimes when your feelings don't always make what you're feeling make it right. I don't even know if that made sense, but sometimes you can't go by your feelings. You have to go by facts, and numbers don't lie. And the numbers versus the United States versus other countries, we're not winning, we're losing. And as we start seeing all these changes being made from getting rid of illegal immigration, the violent criminals, those that though they need to go. I know I'm brown, I know I'm Hispanic, but there's some Hispanics that are terrorists that are come here to basically wreak havoc. But there are also many Hispanics here that really come to work. And those are the people I think should stay. Maybe with some way a path to citizenship. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I'm not against illegal immigration. I know what color skin I am. I'm not oblivious to that. But there are people, they were are rapists, they are murderers that were led into our country. That's facts. If you don't like that, you really then there's something wrong with you. Many of these countries emptied out their prisons and their mental asylums into the United States. That's why the rest of Central America crime has gone down because they send them here. So what's happening now is basically a shock in the system. From financial to economic, everything is going to be a shock in the system. So I expect a little turbulence, but in order to make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs. And I know many of you here are looking for those opportunities in the stock market and also in real estate to make those differences. I'm expecting that if interest rates drop, we're going to start seeing a boom in real estate. We just have not seen it there yet. But I look forward to what the economy is going to do over the next few weeks, next few months. And I'm going to keep you updated and expect a great outcome if you do not lose faith. So stay tuned. I love to hear from you guys. Any comments? Leave any comments, any stocks that you want to talk about. I would love to. Thank you. Until next time.